Here we're live again with the 3 ways today. Welcome back, children, adults, whoever you are. Today we want to share with you this beautiful topic about awakening the inner child. So Sandy is live. We wait for the 2 magical ones. Deepak is also here, a dear friend. Okay. We often behave as children, but we don't really feel fresh within. Let's go deep into this topic today. Ciao, Sandina.
Hello, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I forgot about it.
Yeah, oh my God, I didn't because I had to walk 2 extra blocks to get espresso because the place next to my office was closed.
So big espresso instead of turkey or chicken. I love it, Sandy.
Well, it's still early, so I'll have all of it later, and pumpkin pie, all of it. But I will not have any alcohol because straight from Thanksgiving dinner, I'm doing an overnight shift on the radio. So I'm going like basically now until 6 a.m.
Wow.
I know.
Intense.
I know. Yeah.
Intense.
Yes.
Sandia. Why do you feel this Thanksgiving so close to your to your tradition or to yourself? Why do people love celebrating? Of course, it's around the table, they cook together, but I know the story behind. But why people celebrate it more in America and less in other parts of the world, even though it's so beautiful to celebrate it around the table?
Yeah.
In Italy.
Well, that meaning of Thanksgiving, just being grateful, sharing love, focusing on people and what they mean to you. That meaning is fantastic. It's not exactly how Thanksgiving started. Thanksgiving started as specifically an American holiday because they sat down with the pilgrims and then, wiped them all out pretty much.
Yeah, because my Italian friends still don't know why people celebrate Thanksgiving. So I wanted to share it with you since you're Americans.
Hello, kids. What is happening?
That should be your superhero pose.
My superhero pose. Yes.
Woo!
All right. Francesca, always amazing to see you. Sandy, you're always happy. I love it. What's going on today?
Oh, I love your background, Glenino. It's different.
Oh, yeah. This is my blue screen. The other side is green. This side's blue. So I use this when I do a lot of my Hypno Vault intros for my online stuff. So yeah, different location.
And right behind it is a whole bunch of dirty laundry, right?
A gray wall.
That's a secret. Like my room at the moment is a secret.
Oh my God, I did a Zoom with somebody the other day and they did the blurry background. That's one of my pet peeves is the blurry background. Because it's like now it just looks like you have something to hide. Meanwhile, I'm on with this person and then you could see the blurred out figure walk in the door, like do things and leave. Yeah, so do you guys have like pet peeves about Zoom backgrounds or anything like that?
Well, I just don't like people in the background. Doing a session with somebody in Dubai 2 days ago. He's in a nice chair with his headphones on. And I see like his mom or mother-in-law in the back grabbing some laundry out of the dresser. I'm like, what? Can't you see we're doing something?
I know.
Andy, I know you have.
Oh, a million times. Yeah. It's pretty fun. I think we could all write a book on the funny things that have happened in Zoom backgrounds because especially in the pandemic, I was like 100% on Zoom from 5 in the morning till 10 at night all over the world. Yeah. No, it was.
Yeah, in this case, it's the best Zoom, even though sometimes we prefer in reality, but Zoom is life-changing for people working online. I agree.
We're basically doing it now. None of us have ever met in person yet.
Yeah.
No. Well, when a kid sticks their head in the camera, I'm like, your parents, the room, little brat,
Little cat butt walk by. All right, so today, you ready to have some deep fun?
So much fun.
Okay.
Going deep.
This is inspired by a client, of course. Over the years, we've all done inner child work with our clients for sure. I am guessing that you all have different techniques for doing so. So I'd love to start with, if you want to share, maybe there's secrets and you don't want to share, but if you do want to share a technique you might use to do inner child work with people. And then after that, I want to talk about the real life, powerful, positive, life-changing effect it had on one particular client, because she came back in and shared it with me. And I was like, my God, you know, it's not just what we do in here. It's really just like what happens after people leave and how it really changes for them. So do either of you want to talk about how you approach inner child work? What it even means?
If Glenino wants to start, as you wish, guys.
All right, I'll start off. So when we do inner child work, it's, to me, always based around trauma-related issues or addiction-related issues. Going back to that younger self before they pick up their first drink in that moment. Or going back to a time when that was very traumatic or significant. So the only way I do it is when we go back with a different disassociated state. So you're not going to relive the past, but you're going to experience yourself having gone through it with all the knowledge and wisdom that you have now. And so you're watching your younger self as if it's almost happening to someone else. And then you're talking to your younger self. You're teaching them, you're sharing them, you're thanking them for going through this entire experience for you. And then you tell them how you grew up, how you changed it, what your life is like today, and share them all the amazing things that you are now going to do with your life. That's kind of the way I approach when we go back and do inner child work. So it's always never to relive it, but to experience it as your wiser self, guiding your younger self through it. Make sense?
Yeah,
Beautiful. You know.
Makes total sense. And of course, you know, people who are not familiar with this work, or you, I already know that before you get to that point of the session, you've had a lot of conversation. There's a lot of rapport. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of comfort happening before you enter a space like that, because that's something that really needs to be prepped if you're going to go directly to the source.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Under hypnosis.
It's intense, but especially when you do this with somebody that goes back to their younger self, the very first time they put something like cocaine in their body, and they're like, hey, you know, what do you wish they would have known that you didn't know then? What do you wish somebody would have told them before they did the first line? You know, what do you wish they could have seen would have happened to them? And it's pretty powerful stuff. But yeah, you have to know the person a bit, and you can't do it recklessly. You can't do it if you're not experienced in guiding people.
Beautiful example, Glenino, regarding addiction, since I truly go deep into this topic, because I find it's the main problem of today's society, of our generation, most of all. I believe someone that gets out of an addiction, can be coke or anything else, it's more powerful than someone that never had it. I don't want to justify addiction at all, but I'm saying that for me, people that have been trying drugs, for example, even once or twice or three times, are more profound than people that never tried. Not because it's right to do them, but it's because, of course, there is a lack and there is a need. So the person is very sensitive, is very profound, and he wants to go deep and deep and deep. And so many people, you know, they climb the mountain and then they fly away and they risk their life. And some people do a line of coke to feel the same. So it's a matter of, you are already risking your life. So it's a matter of to find the truth without it, to have the same sensation without it. But if you try and then you stop, you're more powerful than if you never tried.
People would be so lucky to work with you, Francesca, because you're approaching them from, hey, look at this powerful thing you did. Feeling good matters to you so much that you're willing to risk your life in the same way a mountain
because I understand, and Dina, I'm the same.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very deep.
Yeah. There's no shame. There's no judgment. And in fact, what a boost to hear from someone. Look at you. Look at your courage. Look at what you risked in order to feel better because you know you deserve it. I think that's such a beautiful message.
But then you risk in the same way, and maybe you are less, you know, prone to, to drink too much. Even Glenn doesn't drink, or to drink too much wine, and you send it too. So it's risky in different ways. I'm not saying it's better, but I'm saying that getting out of an addiction is very powerful, more than someone that never had it. Sometimes, not always.
Wait, Glenn, you don't drink at all?
No, I do. I drink. Yeah, I drink very little.
Yeah.
I love a good glass of wine, but I find that I drink maybe 2 glasses a month now, if that.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy a couple glasses a week, and for a guy, when you approach middle age, excuse me, guys are middle age.
That's not about middle age,
One of the worst things we can do is intake more alcohol into our bodies, especially for guys. It is just useless, unnecessary calories. It's toxic to your body. And if you look at every great musician, people like Keith Urban, who still looks amazing, pushing 60, who has a great voice and he's in shape, well, he doesn't drink. You look at a guy like Vince Neil, Motley Crue, that can't put the bottle down. He's puffy. He's got a big old gut. He can't sing at all. He can't put the bottle down. You know, one of the best singers in the 80s, Sebastian Bach from Skid Row. Big old belly. Voice stinks. Can't put the bottle down. You know, guys should not be drinking a lot when they get at a certain point in your life. And I drink very, very little.
Bravo, Glenn. Also for sexual energy, it consumes your sexual energy because you leave everything so intense in this moment of being drunk, and then it goes away when you wake up. It's typical. Sometimes guys cannot, have a family because they drink too much, as women do other things and they cannot have children. So,
but if
very good point.
If I had to choose one or the other, either having a sizable Italian meal for dinner and no alcohol, or not eating all that food and having something, sensible for dinner and drinking alcohol a little bit, right? If I had to choose between the two, a big meal, no alcohol, or a reasonable meal with alcohol, and then have to have sex after.
Right.
Also, for a guy, alcohol does something else. Alcohol it's a dilator of your vascular system. So alcohol causes performance issues for guys. It just does. So it's another not good benefit of it. But yeah, it's just not good to drink a lot at a certain point in your life. It's not worth it.
Yeah. The trick I use, because I love losing a bit of senses and not being always so conscious, is I drink only wine, good quality wine. And then if I'm tipsy, then I stop, because the wine is not like spirits. So you recognize when it's too much and you are able to stop. While with the spirits, it suddenly arrives and you are done.
Yeah, you're right. Hard alcohol. Yeah. Wine is much better.
That's interesting. So coming back from the alcohol tangent, I find my performance much worse after food. I just got to tell you, like, alcohol doesn't mess with anything for me.
Women are...
Yeah. And I have chances.
Also, how sad it is to have jokes, to laugh, to go to a party and not remembering the day after. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And I believe it happened to everyone in the youngest age.
Yeah.
So back from the alcohol tangent, Glenn, earlier when you were talking about one of the ways you work with inner child, I really liked something, and I have a follow-up question. So you said you take somebody back, and you didn't give this imagery. This is what I saw in my head, right? It's like you as you now, knowing what you now know, go back to the younger you who was maybe just starting out doing the cocaine or whatever. And it's like whispering in his ear, inspiration, saying, hey, I'm you from the future. Here's what you need to know now, right? Like it's sort of that kind of thing, going back and facing the person from knowing the wisdom you now have, having had the years of experience, right? I'm curious, have you ever taken that in the other direction, where once you've done that piece of the work, you then still under hypnosis guide them to future situations where the younger creative selves before the trauma or fill in the blank comes and guides them moving forward.
No, but that's a cool idea. I've done something a little different where let's say, Sandy, you meet your future self 10 years from now, and your future self has it all figured out. She's everything that you want in your life. Oh, exactly. Well, you're already there. Let's just say that she already has it all figured out, and it's the perfect version of yourself. And that version of yourself looks at you and says, Sandy, I don't like disappointments, and I don't like surprises. So tell me what you're going to do that's going to fuck it up so you and I never meet. So I won't be disappointed when you don't become me. And that sounds kind of negative, right?
Yeah, but I want to really, really get this. Can you say it again? Now, this is reversal of roles, because I just said, Glenn, that was a little too fast for me.
Yeah.
This is
but I really
very powerful.
I think you're saying something really profound. Say it. All right, so which roles are we playing? Say it again.
So you're looking at your future self 20 years from now.
So I'm sitting in this body today.
Yep. And Sandy from 15 years from now, let's say.
Okay.
And that has everything that you've ever wanted.
She has everything.
She has everything.
66, hotter than ever. Sports car.
She's exactly where she wants to be in her house, her cars, your business, your career. Everything is just the way you imagined it. And then she looks at you and she says, I don't like disappointments. I don't like surprises. So that I don't get my hopes up, tell me what you're going to do to fuck this up so that you and I never meet.
I really like this. I want to play it through in real life. Can I be your client for a second? Because I'm being like from a really honest place.
I want to
my first thought, because I think this is really good, but I want to clean this up so I can go later and meditate on this. If my 66-year-old perfect self says to me, don't fuck this up, I'm going to say to her, you're not me. You're not me, because I wouldn't talk that way.
So,
right?
Sandy from the future is going to you and say, Sandy of today, I have it all together. I have everything you want, but tell me what you're going to do so that you and I never meet. What beliefs are you going to listen to? What are the things that you know already that you are not going to do that are going to prevent me from meeting you? And
so the purpose of that is it now guides me every day going, is this a match to my dream, right? Is this action, is this thought a match to my dream?
And the only thing you have to do is focus on those things that you've just identified. So if one of those things is, Sandy, you're not going to believe in yourself enough. You're going to go so far, and then you're going to never take that next step because you're going to doubt yourself. So your doubting yourself is going to prevent us from meeting. Therefore, you have to work on never doubting.
That's a really cool perspective, because the only way I've ever approached it with words is the actions that are a match to your dream, right? But what you're doing is your dream is actually talking to you.
And then you have to be honest with yourself. What are you going to do? Because we all know our patterns.
That's all.
Francesca, you patterns.
Yes, guys, I would say the dream has to be a vision that doesn't include details, because everything transforms and everything can change. Yeah. And as soon as something is missing, a piece is missing, you basically fell down off the sky. So what I've been learning along my life and experience of life is to keep the vision. So the purpose can be anything you truly love, can be love, for example. And so anything that is about the meaning of love, doesn't matter what it is, then you keep the vision itself, of the meaning of it, not of the car, the house. I mean, anything can be taken away. Who cares about this stuff? Of course, we want it as soon as step by step we build our family, love life, but then doesn't have to be this the purpose, not the details, but the vision of the meaning of it.
Yeah. Exactly right. And that's exactly right. And what you're talking about is the elevated emotion. So somebody says, I want a red sports car. Okay, no problem. Maybe it'll be a red sports car. Irrelevant though, why do you want the red sports car? Right? Well, it'll make me feel cool. The girls will like me. I'll get to work
It's all external, brava Sandy. It's external, so it will never fulfill any happiness or dream. It will always be, you know, it will never be satisfying.
Right. And go ahead.
It's really easy if you think about a relationship. So if someone's not in a relationship now and you see yourself 5 years from now in a happy, healthy relationship, and your future self says, well, what are you going to do to prevent this from happening? And you're going to go, well, every time I meet somebody that's in a healthy relationship, my trust issues sabotage it. So I'm going to sabotage you by my trust issues, and that's how we're never going to meet. And then you know exactly what you have to work on.
Yeah, that's a really cool
point. Trusting yourself.
Then you'll meet that person. So it's a negative spin on a positive thing, but it's another approach to doing what we do, another approach to getting people to see what they're not willing to admit to themselves.
If I were your client, I would give you pushback. You'd be mad, but I would give you pushback on how my future self speaks to me. That's where I got thrown. That's where I was starting to lose a little bit of rapport, because I would hope and actually fully believe that my 66-year-old successful self in 15 years from now would be really kind and compassionate. She wouldn't say, what are you going to do to screw this up? She wouldn't think like that. She wouldn't talk like that. There's no attack. She would be really calm, compassionate, soft. She'd talk fast. but that language booted me out. That didn't fit what a dream.
Except if we were in a one-on-one situation and moment, it would cause you to have to think differently. Even that lack of liking what I would lead you through, that irritation would cause you to have to see it differently.
That's a good point. Absolutely. And I really like that process. Let me ask you, Glenn, your 15 years from now self, which would be 45, which would be 45. If you could speak the language he would speak to you. He's a successful guy, right? His HypnoVault is worldwide famous, and he's like turning down clients left and right. He's turning down speaking gigs because he's tired from all the success and all the flying around the world, right?
Yeah.
All the celebrity clients bore him at this point. So 15 years from now, I want to know the how you are speaking to you. What would you say?
Oh, it's a very, very direct process and very, very simple. And he would just simply say, don't wait, don't doubt yourself. Do exactly what you know to do and stop friggin' overthinking things.
Yeah.
And do not second anything you set your mind to. Then we'll meet. But the second you second guess it, the second you put it off, I'm never going to see you, bro. So
this is fascinating. Glenn, you gave me goosebumps, and I'll tell you why. You spoke to yourself like you're a full physical, and I know for people outside of the world of where we went to school, they don't know what that means, but you went direct. You said, do this, don't do that, or you're a jerk. Do this, don't do that, or you're, right? And mind-blowing that you speak to yourself directly. Mine would be all questions. What would make you happy? How would you know you're on your way here? Mine would be all questions. Yours was all direct. Flip-flop personality.
It's funny because I hate that line of NLP questioning. So how would you know if you had it? How would you know if you didn't have it?
When it's obvious, it's annoying. When it's obvious, it's really annoying. I agree. I talk about smelling the stink of NLP. But there's
always? What do you mean, always? Shut up.
Let's do it with Francesca. Francesca.
If you want, I can share my approach to the inner child work, which is beautifully different from Glenn. So we complete each other, and it's beautiful because we touch point on the main keywords. I would say innocence and responsibility. Example. So of course we cannot compare innocence and responsibility. For me, these two keywords are very important for the process of the inner child work. And in any case, we cannot compare a child to an adult in terms of reality. We are talking about the energy. So the innocence in a child What's the difference? The innocence in a child is ignorance. They don't know, they're naive, but that's why they're pure. And so along our growth, we keep this purity being hurt, because of course, the more you are pure, the more you get hurt, because you don't have defensive barriers, but you are open. And so you basically develop compassion for yourself and others. So the innocence of an adult is not the same as a child. The child is ignorant, so we cannot be children as adults, being ignorant and not being aware or conscious, because that's being a child. Having the inner child alive is developing this energy along your growth, keeping the child in you, so being pure, authentic, but at the same time developing compassion, understanding, and purity, authenticity. And then responsibility, because the child is not aware of responsibility. That's why it's full of light, okay? And the more we grow, the more responsibilities we have, but that's how we lose our light, because as responsibility often are not our responsibilities, and so we end up to seek power, to have all these responsibilities outside of yourself, ourselves, which is not the case when you care about your clients, etc. But truly, too much responsibility kills your inner child. That's why a child is full of light. And we have to accept this. And the system makes us believe that power is about responsibility. It's not true. Power is within and is not to be sought outside.
Wow. And not only are you bringing alive the innocence within somebody now who's older and just thinks responsibility is the way, combining the two, I think it's brilliant. Have you ever heard that when you break down the word, because the word responsibility to me is like the worst dumb negative emotion that we could possibly take on, right?
Yeah.
I'm so with you. When you break down the word responsibility, you know where it comes from? Response. You're responding to your outer world.
Yeah.
It's a story.
Yes.
Yep.
So participating, but not feeling responsible. That's how you actually give out the truth, because sometimes we feel responsible for everyone and we don't speak the truth because we are scared. So fears also come, in this case, thank you, Sandy, from appunto avoiding responding, because too much responsibility doesn't make you responsible actually, and you lose, the freshness.
That's that word can have a different meaning other than the meaning that we give it, especially from a guy's point of view. You know, as a dad, when I was a husband, the feeling of being responsible or having responsibilities is only bad if you are not connected to things that bring you joy. Because responsibilities, I mean, what a gift to be responsible for a child, for your daughter. You know, what a gift for you, Sandy, to be responsible for your son. You know, it's a gift to have that responsibility.
Yeah.
But we often see responsibility as gotta go to the job, gotta pay bills.
Then don't do it, exactly.
Yeah, so what you're saying is innocence and being able to play, but realize that the responsibilities that you want are amazing. I mean, imagine Sandy.
Exactly.
Responsible son. I mean, what would your life be missing if you didn't have that responsible feeling? Even that day when you wanted to take that lady's head off at the park, which you should have, you know?
You remember that.
That was out of responsibility for your child. And so responsibilities can be gifts, but we have to clean up those areas of our life so it doesn't feel like one big negative word.
Exactly what you're saying. People are equating responsibility with the wrong word, obligation. But when you decouple it from obligation and place it with what Francesca is offering with both innocence and, in the case where I wanted to tear that woman's head off to save my son, love. It's love. It's abundance. It's joy. And by the way, I also have a daughter. So I have two. My daughter doesn't run her mouth as much as my son, so she doesn't get it.
We will see your son, never your daughter.
She doesn't get. I just posted, if you go on my Instagram, the latest post I just put this morning, I woke up and my bedroom looked like a creepy horror movie. My daughter decorated the room. You must, and quietly too. Please go look at the last thing I posted on Instagram. It was completely my 4-year-old. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Amazing. I love it already.
Yeah.
I've definitely felt negative responsibility for a big chunk of my life.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing everybody else, but you didn't realize part of your job is to carve out your own journey too within all of that. And that's what so many people don't do.
Yeah. 3 of the worst negative emotions, according to me, and most people like these words so much they put it on their resume, okay? But 3 of the worst negative emotions: obligation, commitment, and here's a resume word: loyalty. They're all the same thing, and they're all versions of this responsibility. When you go out of obligation, don't go. I don't wake up and say, dear God, today I will be loyal to chocolate.
Of course.
I'm going to think about it anyway. I don't have to promise. I don't have to commit to my children. I would walk naked on my knees on grits across the world to help them, to be there just to give them a kiss and walk away. Yeah. That's not an obligation. That's not a responsibility. We're tying all those words in together, and they're just not.
It's not.
They're just not. And they're not.
It's not. Don't force yourself to be loyal. Instead, understand why you want to be loyal, and that's it.
Authentic. Yeah. Authentic. Because your authentic self will be there for someone you love. And if somebody's there begrudgingly, it's not about you. Yeah. Right? So
I felt an obligation in my life. I know it sounds bad, but I don't know why people feel obliged to things. I don't know.
Yeah. It's that's such a good to bring that playfulness back, Francesca. You know?
Yay, Francesca.
But also, see, I believe it comes from my blood, maybe, but also because I grew up in lots of education, lots of rules. So truly my inner child is because it is my choice. I've been working on it. So
let's take
no victims in this world.
15 years from now, wise Francesca, as successful in Francesca's eyes, because I know success to you has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with fame. We've talked about that. Those things turn you off. We know you and we love you for it. So your version of success, you don't have to define that now. It's just an emotion anyway. Yeah. 15 years from now, what I am going to give you is you look better than you do today. And everybody's going to be like, how? Okay, but that's you 15 years from now. And you come back and speak to this you. What do you say?
In how many years afterwards? Sorry.
15
years. I would say I wouldn't change anything on myself. I would never change anything I did, anything I suffered from. I don't have any regrets in my life. Zero.
What if we took, because Glenn gave a new perspective on this. It's just a given for our story, is the best version you could be, right? Because anything can happen, okay? But she's the absolute best you can think of. And she's guiding you to take the right path. And she's going to tell you, these things are going to come up, those things are going to come up. If you're being honest and you're sharing something that you feel at least a little comfortable sharing today, what's one of the warnings, admonitions she might give you and say, look, Francesca, if you do this thing, you're not going to meet this me. What might be something specific she says to you, if we're really being honest? Because it's going to show you patterns in your life that you want to change now. You don't have to answer.
I don't know the answer, because to be honest, Indina, no, I don't want to be stubborn. I don't think I am perfect. I love my imperfections. The thing is, I feel myself and I am how I want to feel. Like, I never think of being someone else, of I have to be this way. Like, who I am, it's me transforming along life, living fully, suffering, feeling, recognizing the truth, liars, whatever, it doesn't matter. I go on and I move on deep in, and then I absorb good energy, because thank God I never create bad energy around me somehow. Within friendships too, I communicate issues. If I don't like something, I'm not going to be part of it. I don't take it personally. People can do whatever they want. For sure, if I talk, I mean what I say, and maybe I expect the same of others, but not because I expect this from others. It's because for me, otherwise there is no connection. So then I change my path, or I change the way I react to people or respond to people. So I have my values. I am a free soul, I would say. maybe can inspire many people that are confused. Who cares?
Really nice. So if it's okay with you guys, here's sort of where I wanted to take this today. Now that we've looked at a little bit at how we work with inner child with people, I want to offer, first of all, you don't have to be in a deep state of hypnosis to do it. I think going back to your former self and whispering in their ear, and then envisioning the other way around, where the child before the screw up in your life happened, the innocent child, the sort of clean, clear, clarity, creative you, let that kid guide you moving forward. You can do that back and forth in meditations, right? Very simply, you don't have to be in a deep state of hypnosis. Beyond that, this is one of the most powerful tools I actually use for myself, and you may have heard of it. There's a version of this in that book, Think and Grow Rich. It's called the Knights of the Round Table. Are you familiar with that? The Knights.
Well, the King Arthur book.
The what?
King Arthur book, Knights of the Round Table?
It's a concept where it doesn't really have to do with the King Arthur book, but picture your own version of the Knights of the Round Table. You're sitting at a round table. You're the main guy. You're the king. You're the queen. Or the they. You're the they with a crown. And
the monk.
You're the monk.
The monk.
You're the monk. What color monk robe are you wearing?
Blue
what
and
color,
red.
Francesca? What is it?
Blue and red.
Blue and red, like mixed up together, or like striped?
Fire
with some
water
stars
together.
Okay. All right. So you got your blue and red, purple robe, and surrounding you are people of your choosing. Okay. So I do this exercise for myself. It's very similar to inner child, but it's more about moving forward after you've sort of cleaned up the past. But you can ask him stuff about the past too. So I've placed Abraham Hicks. I've placed one of my best friends who's the best salesperson I know. I've placed my mentor in broadcast and Justin Bieber. And I have them at my table. And I have a problem, a question, and my latest personal one is, oh God, I'm about to launch my app. I went and hired Glenn, I didn't even tell you, but I hired the big guys and I had them rebuild my entire app from scratch, like the expensive way. So it launches in a few weeks and it's a huge investment to me. It's kind of like putting out your first screenplay or your first novel. It's just like I put it all in and I said, all right, well, here we go. And yes, thank you. So I'll tell you about it. Thank you. So now I'm like, oh God, is anybody going to care the day I announce it? Like, is anybody going to care? Is anybody going to subscribe? Is this going to be a thing? What if it's not? Now, what did I just do with the last year of my life and all of my bat mitzvah money, right? So, so I placed all these people at the round table and I asked them. I went in backwards order. So I asked Justin Bieber, hey, Justin Bieber, I got this app coming out. I'm making a big announcement about it. It really matters to me. How would you handle this situation? He's like, I don't care. I once had an interview on Jimmy Kimmel and didn't show up because I felt like skateboarding instead. So what? So what? This will work or it'll be something else. Who cares about one moment? Well, you know? And so I was like, that's why I like Justin Bieber. He always just takes it and makes it not matter, right? And then I went to the next and next, and each one had a different answer, different guidance around how to handle the situation. It's very similar to the inner child work. You're basically talking to different parts of your own personality and getting different perspectives. Do you guys want to share who you might put at your roundtable?
It's a very similar technique with the Silva method. We call it our guides. So we go into our mental laboratory and we have two guides that you pick. You know, one's male, one's female, and they are the same kind of thing. You project onto them your issue or problem, and then they share. You know, so one is my old Silva instructor, and the other is one of my favorite guitar players that I have. I have them both in my mental workspace.
Could you share? Could you ask them a question now, and we could see how they would guide you differently?
I only do it in that meditative space.
Okay.
You know? So it's kind of, it's not, the round table thing is kind of cool though too. I like that idea a lot, you know?
So the reason I want to offer this is because you don't have to be in a deep state of hypnosis. You don't even have to be in a meditative space. Being in that space makes it a lovely experience, and you can really access a whole lot more. But you can do it just walking in the park and just have a conversation in your mind with these people in the park. That's really my strong message today, is you don't have to go to a therapist or do meditation to really enjoy this way of working.
Absolutely. Loved
It
it.
depends on your level of, sometimes we're too close to a situation to be able to think properly, or many people try to fix the problem with the same thinking that created the problem. And if you're in that place, you do need somebody to reason out your life with. And the asking for guidance, guides, it is it's a little bit of a practice, I feel. It's a practice on being able to hear different answers that you didn't already manufacture in the same thinking that you always do. Like what you said, that was a great example of, who cares? I'm just going to go skateboard. Don't take it so seriously. It's not the be all and end of life.
We care, see, I want to specify, I care, but yes, if I care, I care. Otherwise, I understand the truth. Also, I'm very analytical. I understand the essence of this person that maybe doesn't sound right. And then if I feel it in someone else, I feel it because I've been going deep. I've been being the observer of this energy. And so once you're truthful, maybe even if you care or you don't care, you have to be truthful and visualize it and then recognize it if it's somewhere else. So you basically also don't get played by people, in business, in love, anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Francesca, who would you choose to put at your Knights of the Round Table to advise you?
I don't like to be advised, Indina, but I love when I admire people, like you guys, for example. I love listening to you. And I always think about what you say, but advices I don't ask, because that's when I never learn. I never learn when I ask for advices, because that's, then I listen, and when I'm acting upon what I've been, listening from someone else, is never authentic. It's not my decision, it's not my action, so it will never have the same effect as when I act upon my feelings.
That's amazing. What I'm hearing you say is you only listen to yourself, and all this is about the different parts of yourself.
But I don't want to look stubborn.
So if you were my client, I would say we're going to keep the round table, but we're going to put different aspects of you. Okay? There's somebody who makes plans for evenings and weekends and vacations, right? There's their planner in you. There's someone who chooses what you're going to eat, right? That's a part of you. There's a part of you who recognizes someone you like and someone you don't like, right? So we have different aspects of you.
Yeah.
Glenn, what are some other aspects of Francesca we can place at her table and then ask them a question each? What would be an inner guide?
I have a feeling that she's using different words, but it's the same concept underneath it. We all reason our life out with people, but it's who we choose to reason our life out. Getting, as you would say, advice from somebody that you don't expect feels like it's somebody telling you what to do. And that's when it's like, no, that shit ain't getting in. No. Versus, somebody you connect with that you're reasoning your life out with. I think that's different than just getting advice you don't respect. So
let's play it out really simply so Francesca feels safe. Francesca, you haven't decided what to have for dinner yet, and you're having some friends come over and you're the host, okay?
Yeah.
Let's put two people at your Knights of the Round Table. And there are two aspects of you. It's the, let's say the you 15 years from now and the you at 6 years old. Those two Francescas, so it's only you, okay? I want you to first ask the 15 years older than you person, what would be a good dish to cook for dinner? And
maybe I would refer to the smell, because for me the smell is very important. So I would say tomatoes and aubergines, because when I feel the smell, I immediately want to eat them. So
okay, good. Now, 6-year-old Francesca.
Thank-
I wish I would have met her. Oh my God.
I was a nightmare, to be
We would
honest.
have beat people up together, right?
I was just a pure rebel in all
So
senses.
now remember, 6-year-old Francesca is having her 6-year-old friends come over. Okay? What does she want? What does she want to provide for her friends for dinner?
She would provide things to create a mess, of course. So, you know, to eat the orange with the hands and having all the orange all over the hands. So basically being creative with ingredients.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Now,
That's
let's take your innocence.
It's so important. Yeah.
Let's take those two. What if at your next dinner party in real life, you had your friends who are in their 30s come and dig in with their hands in their face? Oh my God.
And that's why we do it still now sometimes.
Oh my God. So this is how you allow the different aspects of self to guide you. You ask them all and then you take one and maybe you combine them, you see. But when it comes to really big life decisions, this is really helpful. Because for me, I was kind of having a freak out moment about this app thing. And then when Justin Bieber was like, who gives a crap? And if this app doesn't work, you can try another one. Who cares, right? And I was like, oh my God, thank you, right? And then the other sides had different things to say.
Yeah,
exactly. Like big decisions in your life cannot be taken alone, because life is about, as we say, we're not, as the Ubuntu always reminds, we are not alone. We are with people. So to choose people and to feel them is important, because people also create your life, your lover, you know, your children in the future. So it's important to not to fully realize yourself, I believe, till you have the right people with you, because that's when you lose the beauty of life, of building for love. Because who wants, to be honest, it's so easy to build all for yourself, all alone. Like, it is easy, in my opinion. It's more difficult and more fun and more deep to build life with people you love, but you gotta live them. And you need to know how they are. Like, it doesn't come from, it looks good on paper, then I can build with this person. Like it happens to me around me with other people so many times. So you have to live. You can be attracted by the energy, and then you have to live the situation. It's not for granted. And the life is not only about the oneself.
Beautiful. You're getting so many hearts as you're talking. I don't know if you see all the hearts flying by. People are loving it.
Sorry, maybe I have a connection, because it
is
a bit...
Hearts, that's
okay.
Oh, you're saying you can't see them? Well, then I'm telling you, now you can see hearts flying through in your mind. Glenn, when you said, this sums up everything. When you said you cannot solve the problem with the same mind that created the problem, whether we do the inner child work or the Knights of the Round Table, or find your way of playing with this, your Silva method of asking the female version and the male version, right? Anytime we open up sort of a different personality within ourselves, or imagining someone else, it's all your subconscious mind anyway. When you open up those different personalities, it takes you out of the one-track mind that created it, right? Francesca's one-track mind was going to do a tomato-based something, but now she's considering messy fruit with fingers. And maybe we can combine the two, because she opened up aspects that gave her different creative outlets.
Yeah, that's it. That's a great thing. And not place so much importance on every single thing that we do. It definitely sucks the juice out when. And all the things that we thought were so important, you know, when we look back in the past, it's like, that wasn't that big of a deal. Why did I care so much? Why did I make myself crazy over this person or this situation or this event? It was that everything was riding on it. The truth is, no, it wasn't. Everything wasn't riding on it. It wasn't life or death. But we do that with so many things, like your app. Or,
That's why I have Justin. That's why I have Justin Bieber as one of my advisors, because he's been through it and everybody saw it. And he's just like, yep, today I'm going to ride my skateboard and I don't care. And I need that guidance, that it doesn't, it's not, none of those things, Glenn, as you say, none of those things is ever a big deal.
Me, if I look back in the past and I remember why I got so crazy with a person, is because I cared about the person. I would never fight ever with anyone I don't care, ever. Like,
so
why should I fight with someone I don't care? I mean, it's obvious.
What if everyone watching or listening to this, what if the next time somebody fought with you, you just let them say what they needed to say. And when there's a break in the speech, just say, this shows me how much you love me. My God, thank you. And that's it. And that's it.
Yes, it's a proof of love, guys. Fight.
Try it.
Fight.
Try it. It's powerful. I love that.
So powerful.
Yep.
Great argument.
Yep. All right. So, guys, takeaways from today before we go. Is everybody going to eat turkey today?
Me, I'm going to a circle tonight in this beautiful church of someone I don't know. So I'm very curious to see how is it done.
Bring your 6-year-old. Bring your 6-year-old and skip into the circle.
I'm just gonna run to the circle and see what happens.
Glenn,
No turkey.
are you eating turkey? Oh, are you? Wait, you're vegetarian?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And I'm gluten-free and I'm dairy-free and it sucks.
All right. All right, got it. So what are your takeaways from today, guys?
All right. Francesca, go with your takeaway.
Okay.
Start us off.
So what does it take to be children? Not only being free to be, but also feeling free to be. No, sorry. I'm just playing with words. Allora, so yes, don't hide your inner child, because that's how you hide the love for yourself. So the more you hide your inner child, the less you love yourself.
Good.
That is true. And in all the things that we do, whether they're business decisions, financial decisions, life decisions, bring that funness of a child with you as much as you can. You know?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay, so after that, the client with whom I recently was doing this inner child work came in and said, well, the last week, every single day, I did the meditation for 30 minutes. Things that we had done in hypnosis. I took her on a journey and had conversations with the younger child. And so she was able to do it on her own, because you don't have to be in a state of hypnosis at all to do it. And it sort of does take you there anyway. So she comes back after a week. She said, all I did was work on inner child. I'm going to change that language. It's as if she said, all I did was work on me and me. All I did was work on the connection with me and me. She said, and while doing that, no direct work on my relationship. She named 7 specific things that her partner did that fully changed, that fully matched what her dream is of a relationship. Because when you connect with you and all those aspects of you, and you clean them up and you heal them, miraculously everything else in your life changes. She healed that relationship, and the other one got healed. She said it was like magic. And that's what I want to share. Yeah.
All energy. Beautiful example, Sandy. It's all energy. Vibration, attraction.
Yes.
Sì.
Really good.
Brava. Guys, I adore you as always. And
We'll see you
all right.
in 2 weeks.
Happy Thanksgiving.